We've been hearing about it for months, but the battle for marriage isn't about equality. By trampling on marriage, homosexual activists want to reshape the culture into something we won't even recognize.
Okay. The compelling argument is on the side of homosexuals. That's where the compelling argument is. We're Americans. We just want to be treated like everybody else. That is a compelling argument.
But this battle isn't about marriage. It's about driving the homosexual flag into yet another segment of society and then using it as a club to silence all dissent, to label anyone who disagrees as a hater. If you live in any state except those depicted in yellow, they're talking about you. And once you're a hater, their intolerance is legitimized. Here's a voicemail from last night that I put in the tolerance file.
Go shove Chick-fil-A up your...
Penny Nance of Concerned Women for America is concerned. The Southern Poverty Law Center has labeled CWA as a hate group, and they published her personal information and address, inviting people to visit her. Just like someone visited the Family Research Council after the Southern Poverty Law Center slapped them with the hate group label. Here's Peter Sprigg from FRC. The footage is raw, but his message is clear.
This young man came in with a backpack, and Leo, I think, was a little bit suspicious, came out from behind the desk and asked to look in the backpack, whereupon this young man, Floyd Corkins, drew a gun from the backpack. He said something to the effect of, I don't like your politics, and he fired 3 gunshots, one of which struck Leo in the arm, in the left arm. Despite having been wounded already by this man, Leo was able to overpower him, was able to disarm him, remove the gun from his hands, and held him at gunpoint until the police could arrive. In his backpack, the police found 50 rounds of ammunition and 15 Chick-fil-A sandwiches. And Floyd Corkins had admitted that he intended to shoot and kill as many possible members of the staff of Family Research Council as he could, and he intended to smear the Chick-fil-A sandwiches in the faces of his victims. Floyd Corkins had chosen his target, or multiple targets, by looking at the website of the Southern Poverty Law Center. And because they had designated Family Research Council as a quote-unquote anti-gay hate group, and placed us on their hate map, which is still on their website. That was how he chose us as a target.
So now, to disagree is hate, and to quote the Bible is illegal.
See, right now, if you quote the Bible on homosexuality in a school, you could be suspended from school for the crime of bullying, because they've manipulated the anti-bullying laws so that anything that is not complimentary of homosexuality can legally be construed as being bullying. So Christianity is already being criminalized.
Once marriage is redefined, that becomes a foundation for Christian and traditional beliefs to be marginalized. It's no longer speculation. When Massachusetts courts redefined marriage, K-12 homosexual indoctrination intensified, and parental rights became a thing of the past.
After the diversity book bag came home, we realized that the intention of the administrators and teachers was to affirm these relationships and gay marriage in the minds of children. When we went into the school, what we requested is parental notification when these issues are brought up by adults within the school, and the option to opt our child out of this type of indoctrination.
And then she said, well, she had checked with the administrators and they had said that this was not a parental notification issue.
One of the reasons they give is they said same-sex marriage is legal in Massachusetts. Therefore, we can broach it anytime with your child.
So when she would not acknowledge our parental rights in this area, we then went to our Judeo-Christian beliefs and our faith and said, well, you wish to affirm homosexuality to our son. You're presenting that which is sin as though it is not to our son, and we cannot allow that.
And I said, I'm prepared to sit here all night until I see some form of accommodation as a parent. To make a long story short, the accommodation they gave was to put me in handcuffs and send me to jail.
couldn't believe that they were willing to arrest my husband because my husband and I just wanted parental notification. We want to raise our children to know God, and God has blessed us with the sacred responsibility to raise them for Him, to know Him, and to know His truth.
The redefinition of marriage started the train rolling by making it legal, quote unquote, and almost mandatory in some ways to make homosexuality the same as heterosexual. And so that brought the issue into the public schools, and that got the train rolling. No question about that.
This battle isn't about marriage. It's about freedom.
They were willing to handcuff a father and send him to jail. It was a 6x8 cell, filthy. But, you know, I felt I didn't have a choice at that point in order to fulfill my role and duty as a father.
If we care about our freedom, we had better use it now.